This is Football Daft with Stephen Purden,
midfield dynamo and average actor,
Chris Toal,
target man, suspicious character,
and
with the top end of Stevenson, Grado!
Welcome to Football Daft. It is the daftest Scottish football podcast around. I am producer John, and let us welcome the team. Now for a man who refuses to ever wear Crocs, it is Stephen Purden.
Hi guys, just sitting here on a Thursday afternoon having a pint of Budweiser.
I know.
It's great. Aye, great. Still top of the league. We kept the zero. Yeah, happy.
We'll get to that in just a minute. There's been a lot of chat about Crocs in the group chat this
Oh,
week.
disgusting.
Disgusting. Grado, however, who is the other man we will introduce, you're desperate for a pair of Crocs, Grado.
I'm not buying this for you, Grado, right? You're a man of style, right? I like your style, right? You're just saying it because it's something different. You don't really want to get them. You'd buy them and they would just sit at the side of your bed or in your wardrobe.
Can I tell you something? I'm desperate for a pair now. Because do you want to know what? See, my father-in-law, he came in my house last night with a Stone Island hat on and a fucking pair of Crocs. And I was like, you look tremendous. I don't know how to take you. I was like, how are people reacting to you when you're like, in the petrol station and that? Because you've got that intimidating Stone Island hat on. You've got your big park on, and they Crocs, man. What kind of reaction are you getting? I think he looked fucking tremendous. That's
like he's doing that. He's like the fucking Ayrshire fucking Bez, isn't he? He's like swaggering about, man, like a guy feel like the late 80s, man, not giving a fuck. Going like that. But you're looking at got a pair of Crocs on.
What's the point in Crocs, man?
They look comfy. And
do you know what they look like? You look like a sex offender.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tend to agree about 10 years ago, but see now, right, when I'm looking for stuff, John, you know what I mean, when you're on stuff for the radio and you're on the Daily Mail website and stuff like that, right, try to get stories, the amount of celebrities that you see walking about and they look shite, but they look cool about it. I like that kind of no giving a fuck with the grey joggies and a pair of Crocs.
Are you going to turn up to pant rehearsals with a pair of Crocs on?
Aye, I want that kind of...
I'm just looking...
I want to feel that...
Celebrity, I've never seen a celebrity wear a pair of Crocs. I've just googled image celebrities in Crocs. Let's have a look here. Who's wearing Crocs these days? There's the here's Crocs are here to stay, and celebs can't stop wearing them. Says it. This is what it says. But I mean,
I want folk to see me in Tesco. Gee, I can't wear Crocs. Aye, but it's Grado, man.
Disgusting.
Awful.
With a big pair of white socks, man. In my bum bag.
I could see it. Oh,
how you doing, Grado boy? I know, too bad, son. How's yourself?
Mate, you should get a pair for the big family bash.
Oh, there's Helen Mirren wearing a pair of Crocs. God's sake, man.
I want a pair of camouflage ones.
John, is that a River Plate top?
What is a River Plate top that I'm wearing today?
Nice, like that.
Wearing that today.
You like it
because it's got a sash down it. That's what you like about it.
I'm more a Boca Juniors man, but I do like the top. No, I mean I do like the top. No, but Crocs are a big fat no.
Well, guys, how do you feel? Let us know. If you're a Croc fan or you're not, let us know. Tweet the show at Football Daft, and you can catch John at
Producer Mac.
Producer Mac, yes.
There we go. Right, Toal's not with us. Get well soon, Toal. He's come down with the...
Pray for Toal, man.
Pray for Toal. He's come down with the COVID, which means we've got the clean sweep now on Football Daft. Everyone's had it now, so hopefully it'll be back next week. But let's get into the football from last night.
Oh, lots to talk about, guys.
Let's first of all head to Ibrox.
What's to unpack?
First of all, I did go to Ibrox last night. I was there because just before the show started, Grado says, we at the game? I said, hi, and he's like, well, you were me.
No, it's just because they're still an Albion game last week, you went, I'm not going to that.
I wasn't going to that, man.
And it's just when I seen, because they announced that, well, I don't want to get it. They announced it was
the thing is, I was going to Old Trafford the next morning. I had me and my wee boy, I wanted to have a wee night with him watching the Rangers, comfy in the house. I know what it's like at a night game like last night. You try to get back at traffic and all that. But last night was great. I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed just seeing the boys and being back at Ibrox. The 90 minutes. Seeing the boys and back at Ibrox. The 90 minutes in itself was fucking torture. That got in the way of the good times. But 3 points.
That was the fear. I don't want to go through. I really struggled with that game last night.
Same.
The shit that was going through my mind.
What you shaking? I mean, it took a long while to break Livingston down. 75 minutes till the goal came. I mean, it was big chances, couple off the line. But was it a case of Rangers weren't great attacking, or was it just that Livingston were so resolute in defence?
You couldn't have argued if we went in there 2 or 3-0 up at half time, some of the chances we had, right? But it was just in the final third. A wee mixture of poor decision making and no luck, because the one Scott Wright has the chance, gets cleared off the line. The young boy Lowry puts it on a fucking plate. Just somebody gambling. You've got fucking 2 tap-ins there. So I think I'm going to moan about a certain individual. We've just brought him back. His name's Cedric Itten. Doesn't do enough for me. So I think a mixture of unfortunate getting cleared off the line, basically, and fucking poor decision making in the final third, man.
Do you think you've seen enough, Bob?
Itten? I'd seen enough before he went and loan, mate, in my opinion. He's not for me. But I just want to touch on something I didn't realise until I got home last night. In one of my actors, Rangers actors, we call it, right?
Have you got notes?
My mate Gav Wright just sent this last night. Livingston's last 6 games, they've won 4, drew 1, and lost 1. That's a team that's playing no bad, to be fair.
Well, what you see, the thing is, and I tell myself at the end, like, hindsight in that, because you're watching that game last night, and I had this Dean Burrett, and I'm thinking, what are we going to do next week at Parkhead? Total panty wetting material for me. I can't help it. It's just the way I am. But when you actually, at the end of the game, you take into consideration missing Aribo, Morelos, you take into consideration the weather, they take into consideration new signings trying to bed in. You take into consideration, as you say, the Livingston stuff. Actually, at the end of the day, it's not a bad result at all, and 3 points is all that matters.
See, you're right, mate. You're bang on. And see the team, it's no coincidence when Roof, Arfield and Jack came on, they look better. See the team that finished that game. See if that team had started the game, it would have been a different story.
Do you guys, the team will start Parkhead?
Oh, mate, right. See Ryan Jack, see that 15-minute cameo for Ryan Jack? He was fucking sublime.
Yeah.
See that passing with intent, controlling the midfield, Arfield going beyond, fucking getting the what a goal, Roof showing a wee bit of quality, the boy Lowry and Osler a new signing as well. So taking into consideration, Nick, this weekend you're going to have Ryan Kent, Joe Aribo, you've got Arfield, you've got Ryan Jack, you've got Kemar Roof. They 5 didn't all start that game last night. Yeah. Kent and Aribo didn't feature at all, and the other 3 came on. So that is like 5 big fucking players coming back, man.
And Ahmad Diallo.
Exactly. Well, the 35 million, man.
Aye, man.
Let's get to that. We'll get to the rumours.
Sorry. We better watch this. Watch this as he come back and bite me in the arse. I hope he does actually.
Yeah, Grado's all over that. We'll get that in a minute. What you touched on Alex Lowry there, 90 minutes, you had a full 90 minutes. Talked about him on the draft. Man of the match for a lot of people. Sakala got it for a lot of other Rangers supporters.
Lowry was my man of the match. See if Sakala... I really, really like Sakala, right? But just shoot sometimes. Just shoot. Because see the space he makes for himself. I love his attitude. See, he's tracking back last night as well. I love him, man. I really, really love him. And I think he's going to come good. And I'm not saying he had a bad game. He get voted man of the match by the Gart Craig Inn. Used to be my local. We pub down my way. But you wouldn't know that, Grado. She won at the game last night. They were the match sponsor. Anyway, he just needs to shoot. He just needs to shoot.
Yeah.
Just shoot, man. Especially on a night like that. You've got fucking swirling winds, the rain's belting down. Just shoot, man. But fucking 10 out of 10 for effort and hunger for the wee guys. Class, man. I love him, man.
Got to touch on as well, Bob, got to touch on Scott Wright, because I actually had a bit of bone to pick with you a couple of months ago when you said you've seen enough, and I felt that was pretty unfair. I think he struggled last night as well, and I don't know what the crowd was. I can imagine the sound on Rangers TV isn't that good, but I'm thinking they are going to go on his back, man. He's taking it away from being personal.
See the one,
I know what you're talking about. It came
Oh,
off. It came
hold on.
back to him, and he probably.
Aye, he should have
probably
cut it back,
Aye.
and he fucking tried to go for goal. That was the end. He didn't want to know after that. And do you know what? I feel really sorry for the guy, man,
So they are.
because you know what the fans are like, Grado. They were crucifying him. And you might not have seen it on the telly. You might have seen it. I don't know if the cameras went to it when he took off. Van Bronckhorst was pure cuddling him.
Oh, really?
Aye,
Right,
aye.
there you go. Well, so...
Oh, we need to mention Scott Arfield too.
Oh!
Friend of the show. Friend
Friend of the show.
Big
Well,
man, big moments.
he's not been on yet.
He's not been on yet. But
Can we call Scotty? We can't call you a friend yet until you come on, mate.
Exactly.
You're a friend of Grado's and a friend of. You gave Bob a framed sign tap and you gave Grado the Rangers B team tap, no unfriend. But but honestly, see, me and my mates were standing at half time, and my big mate Bert said, "This is a game you're just crying out for Scotty Arfield, man." And he said it, and he came on, and he just gives the team a lift, man. I think he instills so much belief in about others on the pitch when he comes on at times. You know what I mean? And he's a big miss. And see, having him and Aribo back in Kent for this weekend and fucking Roof as well, man. Aye.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Well, there you go. Still 4 points in it because we go across to Edinburgh now, and it was Celtic versus Hearts.
Don't need to talk about that.
What was St Johnson's goal? Was it nothing each one?
It was no.
That one. That sounds exciting.
No, Dundee.
Fuck me, imagine being at McDiarmid Park last night for that. No offence, St Johnson fans, but come on. In that weather, could you imagine what it was like in Perth? Nothing each, sitting through that.
Especially the way the fans reacted when they had to walk, the players had to walk through the mock coming off against Kelty. Have you seen that video?
Yes.
No.
So still tight at the bottom there. St Johnstone 2 points off of Dundee. They really need to get a win there. 6 points away from safety as well, St Johnstone. Ross County 1-0 up, and then Dundee United
lost 2-1.
Yeah, score late, 2 late goals. Nicky Clark with a double, coming behind there. So that was a big, big result for them, and because they had a bit of loss of form. Ross County struggle there at the end, but let's talk about Tynecastle game at Tynecastle. Don't know if you've seen the highlights, guys.
What a goal for that Japanese boy, man. What a strike, guy.
I mean, it was really strange when you saw it. It seemed to go through Craig Gordon's hands, but the pace the boy hit it at, geez.
It was some hit, but you're going like that because a wee bit like it did go like through there, didn't it? It's like his hands are here and right through the middle, but fair play to him, man. Fair play.
Aye, a lot of people were sort of saying Christoph Berra at half-time said he'll be disappointed in it, but I mean, what a hit that was. I mean, Celtic go 2-0 up, then Boyce gets a penalty. Questions about Giacomakis being offside for the second one. It's a tight decision. VAR, maybe if we had it, might have ruled that off. But Boyce then pulls one back for Hearts, really good finish from him, and then he has the penalty. And he missed it. Did that kind of filter through at Ibrox?
We were sitting there. What are you laughing at?
It's funny because did it filter through Ibrox? So I'm watching the Rangers game on Rangers TV, but I've got Hearts notifications on my Twitter to get the result, and it comes up Boyce has scored, right? Then it comes up Boyce misses the penalty, it crashes off the post and rolls along the line or over, across the line. That was it. Across the line was the words that they used.
You're thinking this one in.
So I text the boys that are in my chat that at Ibrox. I goes, by the way, Hearts have missed a penalty. Then I went, no, cancel that. That's him just tweeting how the goal was. What happened was the boys hit the penalty, it hit the bar, and it crossed across the line. So my brother was like that at the end of the game. He went, see you, bastard. He was like that. Hearts have missed a penalty, my brother. No, it's just a rumour. It's just a rumour. It's just a rumour.
But there was a few boys, there was a couple of boys by me last night. One of them was going, it's 3-0 now. And I'm like, I thought it was 2, because the boy aligned for me is going, it's 2-1. So the boy behind me is going, it's 3-0. No, the boy's going, it's 2-1. And we're like, where the fuck's the score? Then we hear Hearts have got a penalty. They've missed the penalty. But do you know what, man? See, the nights, like Grado was saying, man, I had the absolute fear, man. I had in my head, the longer that game at Ibrox was going on 0-0, it was a pure pivotal night because they were winning at Tynecastle. I'm going, this is no good for us. But we've done the job, man, and then come Saturday, if we beat Ross County, we go 7 ahead before they kick off, know what I mean? So
4 points in it, still at the top. And I tell you what, £100 going to cash for kids, courtesy of the Celtic win. Our friend Ewan Cameron was on last week, had a wee bet with Toal, £100.
Loves a bet, didn't he, Ewan? Loves a bet.
Toal gave him the draw as well. So £100 to cash for kids, courtesy of Ewan Cameron. So thanks very much for that, Ewan.
Can we all just have a wee image, a wee thing in our head of Ewan shouting at Liam Boyce last night, and then he's apparently, "Fuck you, Liam!
What are you doing, Liam? I can't believe you're this shit.
For fuck's sake, Boyce!"
So we'll say Ewan's been very quiet on Twitter today.
Send him down, honey.
My uncle, send him down, honey.
So what's else been happening in Scottish football? Sad news this week is former Celtic manager Wim Jansen passed away. The man that obviously stopped 10 in a row for you guys, brought Henrik Larsson to the club. Shame Toal isn't there. I would love to hear Toal's memories about Wim Jansen. But
that's the thing with that guy, right? He is he stopped the 10 and he signed Henrik Larsson. He's going to go down in fucking folklore, man. That's incredible.
You're
I know.
right.
It was just obviously it was like one season. It was mental how that he built this team and then obviously left at the end of the season. Was having problems with the club. But it'd be great if you've got any memories of Wim Jansen. Please get in touch. Love to hear them. But he was obviously, like you're saying, just bringing in Henrik Larsson alone, and that hair. The hair was brilliant.
Aye. I didn't quite appreciate how much a fit the guy was in terms of what he'd done in his playing career.
Have you seen Gio talking about him on Twitter, man?
He really was in Holland an absolute icon.
Absolutely.
Fit, man, so sad.
The big thing for you guys, Yanis Hadji's season is over. I mean, we were talking on Rangers staff and is it an impact injury?
You're a fucking jinx, John.
Sorry,
You're a jinx.
That's our problem. It's
just an impact injury.
I mean, big blow for you guys. He hadn't quite picked up the form he had. When we looked at, he was a numbers player last season. He was picking up enigmatic. He hadn't quite hit the heights he had last season, but still a big loss for you guys. You want to see a replacement brought in?
Well, right. I feel like I'm constantly moaning about Scott Wright, but we need a player that's going to be able to play in that position. And I don't even think Hadji gives you a lot more in that position than Scott Wright does. The only thing in that position with Hadji is he's not got the pace. He's a number 10 basically playing as a winger. But losing Hadji now means more onus because on the likes of Scott Wright, unless we do, which is rumoured, bringing in that Ahmed Diallo from...
The onus is on Ross Wilson to bring somebody in.
Exactly, mate.
The onus is on Ross Wilson to bring somebody in that's not going to sit on the bench and just to make up the numbers.
Improve the 11.
Yeah. Well, Grado, you're on this Diallo from Man United, £25 million signed for them. He's only had a...
Was it not 35?
Was it 35? Was
37 kilometres? It might have been euros. Just double check my
my mate made a good point in the group chat. I was like, there must be something about him if Man U paid 35 million for him. My mate went, Man U paid fucking 80 million for Harry Maguire.
Exactly. You've been on YouTube, you scouted him that way, Grado. You like to look at him?
One of the best players I've ever saw.
Brilliant. Of course he is. Of course. Another player you've scouted on YouTube, Grado, is Andreas Skov Olsen. Another great player that you've
Would
seen.
Give Messi a run for his money. Incredible. Go on by YouTube, man. Bring on these two.
Somebody said a fucking 6'2" Danish winger who's struggling in Italy coming to Rangers. That sounds sexy. Reminds me of fucking God.
I mean, but it's what I said, because obviously I get uncomfortable when I start talking about the Premier League in front of you. But people say he's not got a game, but he's playing a team where there's Rashford playing, there's Ronaldo's in the team, is it Sancho?
Cavani, Sancho, fucking...
Aye.
I know.
No, exactly. So, I mean, he would probably do the job. I believe there's not going to be a sell-on. You won't be able to buy him. There's not going to be...
Well, mate, if they paid 35 million for him, even if they included an option to buy, Rangers are like, I need bother.
The other way Rangers, talking Rangers, is Bacuna could be on the move. He's
No, he's away. He's away to Birmingham.
Is he gone? Is he gone to Birmingham?
He's away to Birmingham.
That's happened.
Aye.
Yeah. Was it just on a free, or was there any money trying to change?
It's not been revealed if it's a loan or a permanent. It's not been revealed. It just said he's
Alright.
away to Birmingham.
It's a bizarre one, that, because my father was on the phone telling me we paid $2 million for him. I didn't think that was the case, but looking at there was money, it seems to have been undisclosed, but whatever, by the by, it's just not worked out for him at all.
One of the players that looks like he's got the ability, but his attitude stinks.
When he can be fucked.
Aye, aye.
Mikey Johnson for Celtic could be on his way to Aberdeen. Stephen Glaston
Ooh!
bring in him for a bit more pace and attack.
That's a good signing for Aberdeen.
It would be a good sign for Aberdeen if they can get him. I mean, Mikey Johnson seems. I mean, there's so much depth.
He's on the peripheral of being a good player.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Has he not been really hampered with injuries badly though?
Yeah, I think he's kicking on 24 now, as well. I think it's
Aye.
that kind of age about.
Probably needs that kind of move to get regular football.
No, absolutely. And Hibs are looking to reinvest as well. They've got obviously $3 million in the kitty. What do you make of Martin Boyle going to Saudi Arabia? I mean, I guess at the age that he's at, you take that move, don't you?
I'm not going to sit here and slag a guy who takes a move for money and look after a family. See if you're getting offered that.
Yeah.
If you can't, see these guys, we're no wee boys anymore when you look back and you get fucking raging at somebody when he leaves Rangers, Grado. Remember, you're younger. You go at that, right, we're men now, and you go, you know what the game is. See somebody getting, he's probably getting silly money thrown at him that can set him and his family up for life. So how can you not get back?
It's business at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Putting your money. And I've no doubt that Martin Boyle, that's probably not a preference for where he's got to, where he probably wanted to end up. However,
see if he does a year there, mate.
That's it, and he comes back to Hibs in a year.
Yeah.
Remember, was it Kenny Miller or Boyd or something went to Bursaspor? Made a fortune and came back.
Make their money, come back.
That's it. Aye.
Here, guys, there's someone got out their sick bed and about to join the podcast this week.
There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Here he comes to the podcast, getting out his sick bed.
Right, we're there. We'll just wrap it up when he comes on, right, as if that's what done.
Right, okay.
Right, John.
Right, yeah, we'll do that.
Stephen Purden on.
I was there the whole time when you said that.
Are you alright, Toal, man?
I should have let that go.
Come on.
What a fucking buzzkill, man. Get back off.
Right, you want to do it again?
Right. No, mate, won't be. It's shite.
It's fine, yes, it's fine. We've already talked about Celtic, Chris. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing, mate? You feeling all right?
You look shit, lads, to be honest with you.
How is it for you?
It's just like a really bad cold. But I can't believe I got it after me and you being immune to it, Grado.
I can't believe it. I know what you're saying. I was actually when I got
the best was Grado in the group chat, man. We've got a panel group chat and he's like, my body's just fucking immune to it, man. I think in 10 minutes in the group chat, boys, I've got it.
And I was blaming yous, man. You need to do a test. I was like,
yeah, it was you, Scott Fletcher's like, go and do a test, and you're like, no. And then you done it, you're like, I've got it.
I saw happened to me, like we had ran out of lateral flows. Right, so Keane got it, and we got the lateral flows. We had like 2 left. Done the first one with him, and it came up negative. Right, so I texted his mom it's come up negative. He'll be up the road shortly. Right, and she went, going to send his test up with me. Well, I don't know why she said that. Right, so I went, I know, bother. I went into the bin. I had to go into the bin to get it out when I took it out of 2 lines.
Oh, no.
That's
what happens.
That's just like 3 quarters of an hour after it.
That's exactly what it was. 35 minutes. I took mine just as we bought this house when we were in Nicholas Moss, and I left it on the worktop. We had lunch, and I went back to it 35 minutes after it, and it had 2 lines.
Chris, before we move on to the next bit, we're just talking about the game last night, Celtic Hearts. What do you make of it?
Did I make it?
Well, don't you make it?
I'm still waiting on my cheque being cut.
It's going to cash for kids, Chris. It's going to cash.
Know, but I better be presenting it. It was me that won the money. It better say Chris Toal donates £100.
Right,
okay.
I want one of the big cheques and all, and I want it to go. I want it to go viral.
Mate, it's the loser that needs to donate it, mate. You can't. It's the loser.
Surely he donates it in the winner's name, though.
No, I donated it in my name when he won the bet. I donated. Stephen Purden donated 50 quid.
Toal, see if you're that bothered about it, why don't you just put a ton in a naughty children in need?
Aye, mate. Mate, you like your ass whipping these days?
Right.
I'm children in need. Alright.
Toal, you might be arse with a ton now, man.
I know, man. Sitting in his conservatory.
I know, man.
But I've had to get fucking medical treatment because of that. Or the trainers have been wiping my arse with.
Chris, what do you make of the game?
See what I said last week. It's the same again. Celtic were
I know exactly what you're going to say, mate.
outstanding in the first half, and then we just fall away in the second half. And it happens every fucking week. Every week. And it's becoming worrying. It really is becoming worrying because we're going to drop points because of this. And we were lucky not to drop points last night, to be honest with you. If you're 2-0 lead to hanging on at the end of the game, it's embarrassing at times. But see when we're playing, we're outstanding. We're really, really, really good. But it's as if the energy levels aren't there. And remember, I said that last week, Stevie.
My mate said to us at half time, you were obviously 2-0 up and we were standing and talking, and my mate says, see if Hearts could get one back and keep pushing Celtic because they'll fall away. And I said, that's what Toal said. I says, Toal says about 65, 70 minutes, they're on their feet. And that's exactly what my mate was saying as well, that his mate and what, because a Celtic fan said the same as you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a good debut for O'Reilly. I thought he played really well.
He got man of the match, Chris, didn't he?
There was a wee stat come up and he created 8 chances. And the closest to him had created 2.
Yeah.
So,
have you heard rumours about Kyogo? I'm hearing all sorts of rumours his fucking season's done.
I've heard that as well, but I think that's Postecoglou who tells stories. So I think he likes to keep people guessing.
Think he walks about the Gallagate, man, just fucking drip feeding me bits of info.
It's inside the house, man. Oh, fucking Kyogo's there. Can't believe this, man.
What did you make of Hatate again last night, Chris? He was quite impressive. What a hit for the goal!
I know it was a great strike. Gordon was maybe a wee bit suspect, but it's one of the ones that you see wouldn't have caught it in the way back out. Do you know what I mean? So that's 2 games in a row I've watched him, and he's reminded me of Stan Petrov. Yeah. So hopefully, Hingway.
Is it one of the ones I know, because I was kind of saying with the Rangers result and how they played in hindsight with the number of players that were out, and it's kind of similar to Celtic as well, isn't it? It's no full-strength team. So
this is when players need to step up to the plate when stuff like this happens. You know what I mean? And I thought Near Beaton last night was absolutely outstanding. Mm-hmm. I really did. I thought they couldn't get near him, and he was lucky to stay on the park. I'll say that, because there was a point where one of the Hearts players went to make a pass and he stuck his hand out.
He was already on a yellow, wasn't he?
He was already on a booking, and he should have been off the park. But there was a few bad tackles for Hearts players that could have seen them getting red as well. I think the referee had a shocking game last night.
Yeah. Really. Mate, see the thing is, but man, see what Postecoglou said in his press conference, that he shouted and told the players to stop getting into tackles and all that.
Aye.
Because they're scared they're going to get hurt. Do you think teams are just going to do that? He's all the time now, but...
Well, I think I was saying to Ryan last night, we've got the first 2 halves of the first 2 halves, the first 2/3 of the team, the strike force in the midfield should take care of itself. I think we need a couple of bruisers in defence that are going to put a bit of fear into teams, because we are a bit powder puff, to be honest with you, and we seem to be getting a hell of a lot of injuries, so there's something going on that I don't know what the story is.
Well, listen, we'll have more chat about Celtic.
Did you see what everybody see what Bob Malcolm tweeted?
Aye. You must have whispered it.
Aye, hear that, Toal, no?
Who's Bob Malcolm?
The guy got you tickets last week, did it?
The bad. Aye. Honestly, thanks to Big Bob, he got me and Ryan tickets for the Alloa game. It was fucking shite, but it was good to be back at it was good to be back at the football.
Aye.
Listen, we'll have more chat about Celtic and Rangers on Celtic and Rangers Daft, which combines next week ahead of the Old Firm, so that should be interesting. Before we get into the Daft chat for this week, guys, few comebacks from last week's chat. Remember, we were talking about the autographs and Keanu Reeves, and they only had 2 autographs, right?
Yes.
We threw out there, what autographs have you picked up? And there's been a few people picked up on this. Craig says, 1995, I got Gaz's autograph on a £20 note. I asked him if he could sign it twice, so my pal could get one as well, but he signed both sides. So I couldn't half the 20 quid with my mate, and I spent it inside a fortnight. I wasn't from money. So there's a 20
Anyway,
quid
you
note.
could have probably sold that for about £100.
Exactly. 20 quid note flying about in circulation with Gaz's signature on it. There you go. Andrew says, I got Tiger Tim's back on my 90s slasher Ned hat back in the day. The Dark Sky says, Marvin Andrews came to my high school a few days before my maths exam, was in doing some revision in class, and the only thing I had on me was my maths jotter. He proudly signed it saying, God bless Marvin, and keep believing. Of course he did.
Brilliant.
It must have worked as a pass with a standard grade 1. Big Marvin's giving it the blessing.
Oh, aye, blessed it.
Ian's gone for, I met Chris Evans, the ginger one, not Captain America, down the Lake District in a chippy, and he signed my Morton Home jersey back in 95.
I thought you were going to say he signed his chippy rapper.
How random's that? A Morton tap with a Chris Evans signature.
I remembered one, by the way. I've got one. Albion Rovers drew Hibs in the League Cup, right? And I went down to the game, and all the Hibs players were coming in like fucking superstars, know what I mean? And I met Kevin Harper, funnily enough, Grado. Kevin Harper.
Friend of the show.
Right?
Show,
So
man.
Kevin signed an
Stays at the
autograph.
back for me, man. Stays at the back.
He signed an autograph for me, so me and my mate were like, oh, cool. And I went up the road, and I had the autograph on my desk, and we were sitting playing fucking Nintendo 64. This is how long ago this was, right? We're playing Nintendo 64, and I turned round, my mate scribbling on a bit of paper. I'm like, what are you doing, mate? He fucking scribbled over my Kevin Harper autograph. Feathers, I swear to God, I'll never forgive you for that, big man.
Oh, he stays in the corner. I'll go and get it for
I'll
you.
get him another one.
Get a new one, mate.
Stuart says he got Cristiano Ronaldo's when he was on the bench at versus Birmingham. Wasn't too clear, so went over it with a Sharpie, thus null and voiding the signature.
Aye, you don't do that.
You can't do that. And finally, Jordan says, I got Roy Chubby Brown's autograph on my stomach as I didn't have any paper. I was going to get it tattooed, but shat it at the last minute. I was only 18 at the time. That's my excuse. Imagine walking about with a Roy Chubby Brown signature. Fucking amazing. Right, so getting to the daft stories for this week, boys. Would you like to talk about the flight attendant that got asked the most stupid question? Would you like to talk about the song?
Don't even read the other ones out. I want to hear that one.
Aye, so it's going to annoy us what the question was.
Right, okay, so
Aye.
this went viral on TikTok. There was a Ryanair flight attendant has revealed the most stupid question she's ever been asked on the flight. Gemma Ben shared the video on TikTok, and a woman asked her, can you move me away from those bottles? And she replied, sorry, miss, they're only oxygen bottles, it's okay. And then she replied, I can't sit next to them, I'm allergic to oxygen. Which leads me to ask you boys, what is the stupidest question you've been asked in your work?
Oh, mate, I can't. I would get sacked if I tell you that.
Chris, come on, there must be everyone. Come on, you work in customer services, Chris. There must be some belters you get asked.
Well, there's on previous jobs. I could probably talk about previous jobs. I can't talk about my job now.
Okay, right, yeah.
At one point, I worked for AOL, right, and I was a technical help advisor. And remember, I spoke to Gary Gillespie. Remember, I was telling Gary Gillespie.
That's right.
I fixed his computer.
That's right.
See some of the questions like that. You would have people. We set up somebody in my work set up a Twitter account for the daft customer questions. And honest to God, there was a woman phoned up and said, I can't get access to the internet. And somebody spent about 15 minutes trying to fix it for them. And the woman went like, we've got a power cut at the moment, would that be stopping me? And honest to God, she had a power cut. She's like, I looked outside the window and the street lights were off and all the other houses were off. Is that something that would stop me from getting on the internet? A lack of electricity would absolutely stop you from getting your computer on the internet, missus.
Boy, you kind of, I don't, on set, Chris or Grado or Stephen, do you get any weird questions asked?
One of the weirdest questions I ever had, and I ended up doing it, was years ago when my producer says to us about a storyline coming up saying, would you mind jumping in the Clyde?
You didn't get ill off the back of that, Stephen.
Obviously I done it, but now if they asked me I wouldn't do it. But back then I was young.
Was that just before you get the meningitis?
No, man, that's what the papers wrote, man. This was years before I got Noel with meningitis. I just ended up a bit sick and got a jag in the arse, and that was it. That was all right.
Grado, you got anything?
I can't think because
The wrestling.
obviously
You must have been asked some strange stuff to do on the wrestling. Some stupid questions.
it's usually me fucking asking the questions, but I can't think. I'm more trying to think of the fire brigade if there was them doing the fire brigade line that kind of.
Oh, you've got to have a few belters at the fire brigade, mate.
No, but I did get in trouble for probably asking a question to somebody once because somebody had phoned up about a cat stuck up a tree, and we don't attend cats up trees.
I did not say if they got their cell up, they'll get their cell back down.
No, I get in trouble because so we're not allowed to go up cats up trees, right? And you get folk on the phone who'll go say there's a cat stuck up a tree, and they usually go mad when you tell them that we can't turn it, because years ago, English fireman went up to get a cat for a tree, went up the ladders, and the cat went and right in his face, and he fell back and broke his back.
Oh, Jesus.
So they can't take.
Yeah, I mean, what did the cat do?
But I get in trouble because you've got to calm them down to say sorry, we don't attend, understand. But the mum was going on about how, you know, well, if it goes up there, it's going to end up starving and all the rest of it. And I says, well, have you ever saw a skeleton? Yeah, a cat up a tree. Fucking angry.
Fuck.
That's very good. That's very good.
Point. So, if you've got any stupid questions you've been asking at work, get in touch with the podcast. We'd love to hear from you next week.
My answer to that would have been no, but I've never seen a fireman skeleton up a tree either. Get out here and get this cat then.
Get in touch with any of that sort of stuff. Later on the show on Football Daft Focus, the big story in Scottish football, one of the big stories this week has been Livingston throwing down a challenge to a bunch of wrestlers. We're going to speak to the main man behind Livingston's social account, Dave Black. He's going to be on the podcast. On the big question off the back of the African Cup of Nations, looking for your worst goalkeeping displays. There's plenty of those. Football Daft moments of the weeks. Grado, have you got 3 riddles?
I forgot about that.
Brilliant. I've always got 3.
I've got one.
Right, you've got 1. I've got 2. So we'll make up 3. And on teammates, it is Champ Man legend, Falkirk legend, Dundee United and Aberdeen midfielder Mark Kerr.
Oft.
It's now time for Football Daft Focus. It's our new part of the show where we look at something happening in Scottish football. We talk to supporters, we talk to clubs, we talk to podcasters. And this week, we thought we'd get someone on from Livingston because our sister podcast, Wrestling Daft, we talk a lot about football wrestling crossovers. And it's all kicking off in Livingston. Dave Black's on from the club. Dave, tell us what's happened.
Bizarre, absolutely bizarre. We played last week, and after the game, we tweeted just about Stefano Mayonga and Jason Holt both playing particularly well. And I'd put on the Twitter saying that the two of them were the best tag team since the Hardy Boys. Off the cuff, didn't even think that half the fans of anybody 25 or younger would even know who the Hardy Boys were. And never thought any more of it. And that was on the Wednesday morning after the game. So the Wednesday night, it's not as glamorous as folk think, by the way. I'm sitting in the house on Wednesday night in my short, watching the telly with a big bag of crisps, and my phone starts and it's the Hardy Boys had replied, kind of calling us out in response to claiming that Holt and Almayonga were a better tag team. So they replied saying, do we think they're better than the greatest tag team in all the space and time, or something along to which, now, absolutely bizarrely, at Christmas time, the boys were meant to be going down to Newcastle for their Christmas night out, and it got cancelled just with everything that was going on with COVID. So on the last training session before Christmas, Davy Martindale said, listen, if you want to come in to training wearing all your outfits that you were going to wear, because they were all going to go as wrestlers in Newcastle, all dressed up as different wrestlers. So that night, that morning in training, they all came in, they were all dressed as different wrestlers through the years. So just purely coincidentally, we had photos of all our boys already in wrestling gear. So I went straight back to the Hardy Boys with all our guys on the pitch, all dressed as Macho Man and Hulk Hogan and Kane and all this, saying like, you any place, any time, use name it, we'll take you on. So they came back. It was kind of going back and forward that night. And listen, a bit of fun, but it was good. It seemed to kind of get a bit of traction amongst the Hardy Boys fans, and our fans were quick to jump on the back of it as well. So it's good fun.
That's superb, mate. What you need to do is get it sorted so that the team comes out to the Hardy Boys entrance music.
Aye, do that because he would tweet it out.
Exactly.
He would love that.
And you know what? That's the sort of thing that gets you onto Soccer AM and all that, and gets you lots more followers.
I can still remember Fandango years ago. Remember his song was played at...
he ended up number 3 in the British charts,
aye, man. They played it at Everton, they played it at Ibrox, Fandango, because his song was mega catchy, and they ended up playing it, and as Bob Toal says, it cut the charts.
What I would say is, see, if you do play that music, expect a cease and desist for Vince.
There was a boy who replied on Twitter when we put the photo of the guys in the wrestling gear asking if we had the rights to wear all the costumes.
That's a wrestling fan. That's a kind of shit they come out with.
Gimmick infringement.
No truth in rumours, Edge and Christian are signing in the January transfer window then, no?
No comment.
It wouldn't be like Livingston to sign a couple of over the hill strikers.
Well, obviously, Dave, we have a man in this podcast that could make this dream match happen. Jason Holt teaming with the big man against the Hardy Boys. Grado, can you have a word with Matt?
I will text him now, right?
I thought you were talking about Stephen, sorry.
Oh, no.
Mate, I am wrestling daft me, honestly.
He's a wrestling star. He came on at the pavilion the last show.
And I've wrestled Davey at the garage in Glasgow as well, you know. So I've been around, man. Mate, I wouldn't be wrestling any of your boys. Like last night, mate, who's the boy who came on last night? The big centre forward. He's about 7'2".
He's with our bro, big nibs.
Oh my God, man! Me and my mates were sitting going, "What size of this guy?"
Grado, that big nubs as if he knows who he is.
No, honestly, I was like that last night. See when he come on, I was like to Stephanie, "There's big nibs. He plays well. He was our brother 6 months."
No, Dave, did you know he's brought another boy on as well, which is his Toal, wasn't he? He was massive as well.
Aye, so big Caleb that we just signed for Aston Villa on loan as well. So two of them are 6
Because, mate, honestly, man, see the mere the game went on 1-0 towards the end. I'm thinking, usually going to get a free kick or a corner, and one of the two are just going to absolutely fucking. Honestly,
half a chance.
Right at the end.
Right to death, there was a half a chance.
Big guy all over a touch and he's probably scored, but listen,
it's all right. If you should have got a corner of that, one of the Rangers defenders would have been able to catch the ball and hand it back to the goalie anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Aye, but mate, you know what, man? They'd get booked for it, man. Some players do hand the ball and don't get booked for it, know what I mean? Just saying.
This is true, aye.
What's his name? Is it Beaton?
They don't do it in the box, but son.
Aye. Son.
Wait a minute. Oh, Stevie, I know you hate that. Sorry, I apologise, mate.
I mean, obviously, wrestling aside, Livingston, you've picked up a fair bit of form now and kind of climbing up the table. Are you looking up more than you're looking down now?
I think so. I think listen, you've got to be realistic and probably look both ways almost. And then there's no denying that last night when St Johnstone are playing in Dundee, you're probably looking at that, hoping for a draw and keep the two of them kind of distance away, knowing that we're at Ibrox and listen, we competed, but you know you're probably up against it going there. So when they two are playing, you're kind of looking out for a draw. But I think with Dundee United and Aberdeen, they're within kind of catching distance. When you put a run or continue the run of results, you're not far away. I think we're only 4 or 5 points off in his 7th, 6th place. So it's quite you can quickly catch up with them. I think that's got to be the as much as you're looking over your shoulder, you always want to try and catch the tails of those teams above you. So I don't think we're far away. I think we took a little bit of time to get up to speed this season. There was a lot of change in the summer, a lot of players in, a lot of players out. So it's always going to take us a wee bit of time to kind of get gel together and then start picking up points. I think we've seen that in the last maybe 2 or 3 months. We've kind of kicked on to where we were end of September time. So
exactly. That's what I was saying to John. Like last night before you played us, it was like the last 6 games you've won 4 and drew 1 and lost 1. That's good form, man.
Do you remember this happened last season as well? Livingston had a pure purple patch, and did you not win like 9 games in a row or something last season?
We went 14 undefeated. So it was 10 wins and 4 draws. So that was the kind of period where we got to the final of the Betfred Cup, and then kind of towards the end of the season we went on an equal run, but in a not so good way, where it was kind of 1 win. So the thing is with that, I think as much as you're flying with 14 games undefeated and really disappointed with 1 win and 14, had that just went 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, you wouldn't really be too bothered. But I think when it goes in such an extreme, you get carried away a wee bit with 14 undefeated, and then you get carried away on the other side of things when you're still putting points on the board. So
Dave, It must be quite interesting being in charge of like a football team's Twitter, is it no? Like, are you allowed to block folk? Have you ever had like a DM for another team, like fucking telling you when your neck in or anything like that? Or has that ever happened?
So you get bits. I mean, we try and have a wee bit of laugh with us. I think there's an element you've got to have a bit of professionalism because you're still using it for your corporate, your more boring stuff, if you like, your sponsorship and your hospitality. But I think there's an element that your fans want to see something different. It's hard in this day and age. Every club's doing the same thing. They're all.
With you and Cameron, weren't you? You were having banter with him.
Aye, so we done a wee bit. He came to Hibs defence bizarrely. Hibs had put some terrible patter out about.
Oh, the Motherwell thing.
The Motherwell.
It's your Motherwell.
So we went. I went back to them, kind of saying like, Soccer Emma on the phone. They're wanting their 1998 patter back. And of course that was it. Like just Hearts fans were on it, and everybody was just getting stuck into Hibs. But for some reason, Ewan decided to kind of jump to the defence, and he came back with this tweet's got more likes than you've got fans. So I just went back saying, and it's also got more likes than you've got listeners.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. I thought it was actually up for our moment of the week. I think
it was.
One moment of the week.
Aye.
Wait a minute, John. Why are you defending that? Do you not produce that show?
No, I don't do you.
I think that's tough when your fans are. You get used to that. You're running the mill, buy a shirt, buy a ticket, all that sort of stuff. So when you're having a bit of a laugh and you're not on the receiving end, I think when you're giving it out, it's a wee bit easier to kind of jump on board and have a laugh with it. So Ewan, then somebody for one of Ewan's colleagues got in touch about his Secret Santa. So we also we sent him a shirt with Cameron 0 listeners on the back of it. So still coming for him now. So
super. Well, Dave, thanks for coming on and filling us in a bit.
Before you go, Dave. Is the gaffer still dining out on the fact he's tapped out our quiz league?
Yes, he is. He's very, very proud of that. Very proud. No cheating whatsoever. Nobody else in the room.
I know. So Hibs on Saturday, and then that's a massive game at the Spaghetti had next week, St Johnstone. Do you think if you get a win against St Johnstone, do you think then it's like we're kind of safe now?
I think so. I think, listen, there's no reason why we can't go Easter Road on Saturday and then pick up 3 points here. I think we're kind of got that little bit of confidence just now. Okay, lost last night, but as I say, you're not going there expecting much. But I think performance-wise, there was plenty of positives to take away from Ibrox. It's probably the best. Listen, we've never played brilliant, but it's probably the best we've played at Ibrox, trying to match Rangers a little bit. Admittedly, Rangers without 3-4 big names, but I think the boys, given the run that we're on, played okay last night. We'll go to Easter Road, and the Hibs. Disappointing result for them last night, given Motherwell were down to 10. So we'll go there, try and pick some up. But I think you're right. If we can get 3 points on Tuesday night against St Johnstone, you're probably looking at the gap there and hoping that you're not going to drop off enough and St Johnstone pick enough wins to catch you. So I think it is a big game. But for us, the Hibs comes first on Saturday. If we can get that win, it's even bigger. So.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, thanks for coming on Football Daft. Really appreciate that, mate.
No worries,
all the best, mate. All the best rest of the season, bud.
Thank you, pal. All the best.
Football Daft's big question.
Now, boys, we've been watching the African Cup of Nations, and there has been some horrendous goalkeeping in it, hasn't there? But we've got to put a shout out. You saw the story, I'm guessing, the Comoros, who managed to get through to the last 16 against Cameroon. Now, 2 goalkeepers were ruled out with COVID, and 1 goalkeeper was injured, so they had to put their left back in goals for this last 16 game. And to be fair, they only got beat 2-1 and the boy played pretty decent.
Aye, but did you see the goal? But
aye, mate, I see it.
You know what? He's actually forgot he's a goalie, hasn't he? He put his hand behind his back.
He's in case he's going to give away a pen, man.
So I
heard he was scared to save it in case Rangers got a penalty.
But it wasn't the worst goalkeeping in the tournament, I have to say. That leads us to the question this week, on the big question: what is the worst keeping display you've ever seen? Or I've
got it right away.
Cammy
Bell.
Right?
Oh no, that wasn't who I was thinking about. That wasn't who I was thinking about.
That wasn't who I was thinking about either.
Cammy Bell has been a
Cammy Bell against Motherwell for me in a Rangers jersey.
Playoff, wasn't it?
Aye, horrendous, man. Horrendous.
Mine was the Liverpool goalie.
Oh, Karius in Champions League.
Aye, that was a bad one as well, mate. That was a bad one.
Do you remember?
I thought you meant just for our team.
Aye, probably.
No, it could be any team. It could be any team.
You remember Massimo Taibi's debut for Man United?
Aye, through the legs.
Aye.
Oh.
Twice too, flung two in, remember?
Aye.
Horrible. We've had some horrible goalkeepers at Falkirk, I have to say.
By the way, you've had some belters and all.
Oh, we've had Tim Krul, Casper Schmeichel, all that sort of stuff. But some absolute Gordon Marshall, Ian Westwood, Tony Parks, ex-England inner, Tony Parks. Let's go to the listeners though.
Tony Parks.
Tony Parks.
Ex-England international. Tony Parks.
Tony Parks is a Spurs goalkeeping coach now. There you go.
Funny you're saying it. I remember a game Celtic were playing Hibs, right? And Hibs didn't put a sub goalie on the bench, and it was back when you only had 3 subs. Right, I think it was about 94, 95.
You still love when that happened.
And Jim Leighton got injured and Darren Jackson had to go in goals.
That's right, I remember.
Remember that?
Man, do you know what? It was brutal. I don't know why they've picked Darren Jackson. He couldn't have caught the cold.
Remember Robbie Winters went in the sticks? Was it in the cup final? Robbie Winters went in the sticks.
That's right. Against Rangers, wasn't it?
Was that Jim Leighton in the first couple of minutes? Was it not the full game?
Yeah.
They don't remember Ross McCrory in for us.
That's right. I remember that.
Remember the punt he had, man.
Aye. So
he fucking cleared it right down Edmiston Drive, man.
The best thing about that is he played before his brother played in goals.
Aye. That's right.
Do you know what? That must be a bone of contention between them. I give a game of goals for Rangers before you.
Robbie made up for it, man, in the game against Hughes, man.
Clean sheet.
Who was that?
His brother made up for it in goal against Hughes, man. Clean sheet, kept the 0, man.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so...
By the way, another shout is...
I'm talking about shite goalkeeping.
I remember... okay.
Sorry.
I was just saying, I remember when Letizia played at Rangers, and I think we played some other team. And
that's a great story.
No, it was a final straw for him. I remember he was getting booed and all that, and there was folk arguing in the stand. He let the goal in, and just cut this out.
mate, you had this hanging on tenterhooks, man. You went, I remember Letizia went in goal, and we were playing this other team.
Was that guy called Lionel Letizia?
Aye, Lionel Letizia.
Aye.
Was that Dunfermline that you were playing and you get?
It was Dunfermline. I was thinking it was maybe because Dunfermline was who McGregor was on loan, but you're right.
No, I remember that. Aye, and Vanoli scored an OG, didn't he?
Aye, man.
There you go. You should have put that one on that game, John.
Keep it in then.
There you go. Chris has got the story sorted there. Right, let's go to the listeners and see what they're saying. Craig kicks us off with Stephen's suggestions. Cammy Bell, the playoff versus Motherwell at Ibrox.
There you go. So John says Vasilis Barkas, the human street lamp, couldn't catch the cold any second in goals last season.
I love the comparison. The human street lamp is a great human street lamp.
And Stephen has got in touch. He says Alan Coombe throwing the ball out in frustration, but ends up hitting Dan Mackey on the napper, then back into the net.
Hey,
that's a belter.
I've got a great story about Alan Coombe.
If you know
Boom! That's old football daft banter. Back in the archive to get that banter again.
You can just imagine. You can imagine.
That gives me PTSD, man. It makes me think of lockdown and all that. You talk about Alan Coombe.
I just remember being dead excited to tell you that story, man. It's like,
Grado running and then the Cristiano.
And I was just shouting, Coombe!
See, as soon as I says, and Stephen says Alan Coombe, I had a wee look up and Grado's like that.
Grado, have you got Kenny's?
Yeah, I have got Kenny's, John, and he says, well, he minds one a few years ago. I think it was a German game. The ball gets passed back to the keeper. He tries to trap the ball, doesn't realise the ball is kept on moving, so looks up for a pass, then proceeds to try and kick the penalty spot, thinking it's the ball.
I have not seen that. I'm going straight on to YouTube to look that up. Stephen says that Rab Douglas must be in for a mention. Chris, can you remember any Rab Douglas, friend of the show?
And an old firm, I remember.
Oh, man, remember I asked him that question? I shit myself after that. I couldn't concentrate all night.
It'd be feet now, wouldn't it?
Aye.
Big Rab had a few mistakes, but he was a much better goalie than he gets credit for. So David says Zibby Malkowski and Eve McAlamby. That is all.
That is all.
I remember McAlamby, man.
Aye. Stephen says Grado's one was talked about earlier. Carries in the Champions League final for Liverpool against Real Madrid. 2 huge blunders. Throwing the ball off Benzema for it to trickle into the net, then a long-range effort from Bale fluffed through his horns.
Martin says pretty much anytime Barkas has been in goals for Celtic, it's like watching a T-Rex with goalie gloves on.
Very descriptive.
Very descriptive. Michael goes Peter Shilton, an international goalkeeper being out-jumped by the smallest man on the park. I'm assuming that's the hand.
The hand of God.
Yeah.
Dude. Stevie, you're up.
Do you know you, mate?
Oh, is it me? Right, Declan says Leo Fazan.
Oh my God, that's a horror. Declan must be a Falkirk supporter.
Is that about a PTSD there, John?
Oh, Italian goalkeeper. We got him from Kilmarnock. He was murdered.
Like he was on the books. He was on the books at Celtic for a long time. That guy.
Oh,
was he?
Aye.
Absolute murder. I wonder where he is now.
Sean says, my 6'4" pal, David Mackay, getting lobbed from the halfway line. And he's put his Twitter name in as at David Mackay 1995 if you want to look him up.
John Payton says Cammy Bell's punch thing for Rangers versus Motherwell. Aye, that's
fucking horrendous. John,
I've just seen the next one.
Yes, I get it. I get the next one.
Connor Hazard making his Twitter password Hazard1.
Is that true?
Did he not get hacked
Oh.
on Twitter? Yeah.
Grant says 5 words. On you go, Tom.
Grant says 5 words. What's the goalie doing, Tom?
Aye.
Nah, it was fun. It's shite house today, man. He's never lived it down, man. It's funny, man.
It is funny, but it is funny when you listen to it back.
It is a player profile playoff with piesports.com. They are bringing the taste of Scottish football to your doorstep every week during lockdown, and they're still going with favourites such as Scotch, steak and gravy, macaroni, and I tasted this at the weekend, the doner kebab pie.
I'm getting mine tomorrow.
Aye, it was good, man. It was good.
Absolutely brilliant. Do you have the steak and sausage as well, boys? You try that one?
No, we got the doner kebab, man.
Oh, the steak and sausage is good as well. Listen, you can get them all from their website, piesports.com. Give them a call, 0141 739 9999. They will deliver free of charge to many postcodes across Scotland. You can get them in for the games at the weekend. On to play for the Pies today. He's a Rangers supporter. It is James Robson. How you doing, James?
Not bad, yourselves, boys.
Oh, good, mate. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Wait, James, you said you come on here, you were at the gym. Good on you, mate, because I'll tell you what, I'm struggling. I want to get to the gym. Good on you. What you got to do, I want to know as if you on a diet or something now?
I'm just cutting out all the shite. But I eat 100 kiss and chocolate, man, so I'm just...
And you're on to win pies, James. This is not a good idea.
Listen.
That's the best part. I'm just in for the gym and now you're on to win pies.
You can try their new Caesar salad pie.
Aye, it's got doner meat in it, but
right, guys, we're going to switch it up this week. We're obviously hitting Old Firm week, and everyone's getting a bit nervous about it. James, are your nerves starting to kick in for you?
No, not yet.
No yet.
I got Eagles back, you know what I mean? We'll be firing all cylinders.
Right, okay. What about you boys? Are the nerves starting to jingle a wee bit for?
No, mate, I'm fine. I've even thought about it. I'm alright.
Aye. Well, I tell you what, this is the game we're going to play since it is Old Firm week, right? And this is our last show before the game next Wednesday. What I'm going to do, right? We usually do the players, but what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to give you a date and the score of an Old Firm game, and all you need to do, right, is give me the scorers in that game. Now, slightly different this week. First to 5 wins, right? And if you do get one scorer wrong, the play hands to the other person, all right?
Right, do we need to buzz in?
No, you don't need to buzz in. I'm going to flip the coin and see who goes first.
Right, okay.
So
is it 5 games then you're doing, John?
I've got a list of games here. It's the first of 5. All I need is 5 scorers for so if you get
so it's not like so if there's like fucking 3 goals in the game, you get the 3. That doesn't count as just one.
No, that's just you get the 3 points. You'll get.
So are you doing Old Firm like Toal v your man?
I think we'll do Old Firm. I think that's only 4. So we've got James who's a Rangers supporter versus Chris who's a Celtic supporter.
Me and Grado weren't involved in all, but just if nobody gets it.
I tell you what, if they don't get it, guys, I'll hand the play over to you guys. You can give them the answer. Right, Chris, heads or tails? You call it.
Heads.
It is tails, so James gets to go first. Okay. You understand the rules, boys?
Yep.
Right, okay, James, play starts with you. We are going to 17th of October 2020, and it was Celtic 0, Rangers 2. That was Celtic 0, Rangers 2, and that was at Parkhead. Who got the 2 goals for Rangers?
Come on, James, that's easy, man. Come on.
Connor Golson.
Yes!
Connor Goldson with 1. Who got the other one?
You know, score 2.
Aye.
He scored 2. Well done, 2 points. James.
Should I knew that 'cause I had COVID that day.
Aha, there you go. Right.
Is that how you remember football games?
Amazing.
Off it in the
Right.
shop, didn't he?
Okay, 2-0 to James. Let's move on to the next match. Rangers 2, Celtic 3, 11th of March 2018. Who were the 5 scorers in that match?
And this is for me.
No, this is for James. Please, still with James.
This game's shite. I'm not going to get a shot at it.
Was Josh Windass one of them?
Yes.
Windass
Yes.
is one.
Right.
Oh, blame
One of them was he not?
What's that?
Bailey was one of them, was he not?
Dembele, yep.
Who else scored for Rangers, man, that game? Fuck.
Oh, okay. I'll tell
You've
you,
got
man.
one Celtic. You've got one Celtic scorer, one Rangers scorer.
Toal shite at this, man.
Toal's raging. He's sitting. Look at his face.
Is that James on 4 already?
This is pish.
He's on 4 already.
It should go 1 scorer, 1 scorer.
Oh, Toal, dye your eyes, man. Fuck's sake.
Did Daniel Candias no score that?
Yes! 5 Who are you? Who are you?
Also, I'll tell you this now, he's looking that up.
I'm a fuck. What?
Oh,
Fucking looking it up. He's looking it up. He's a cheating bastard.
Oh, hey now. Well done, James. Oh, Toal, always defeated, never cheated, eh? Or always defeated.
Wait a minute,
No.
I never even got a shot.
Right, okay. Right,
I
okay.
haven't even got a shot.
Right, James, I tell you what, if Chris can get the equaliser, we'll go to a tie break. I'm going to give Chris a shot. So you're on 5. If he can equal your score, we'll go to a tie break. All right, Chris, can you name the other scorers in that game? We're still Rangers 2, Celtic 3. We have Dembele, we have Windass, we have
Tom Rogic and Edward.
Well done, 2. Right, next game, Chris. Celtic 3, Rangers 3, 6th of October 2002.
Ooh.
It's an easy one.
Larson.
Yeah.
Oh, who put the ball out? It was Vega.
No!
Oh, you fucker.
Shota Avaladze, Ronald De Boer.
It was fucking Varga, wasn't it?
He's out.
Nope, absolutely
No.
not.
No.
Shota Avaladze, Ronald De Boer, Chris Sutton.
No, Chris Sutton and Mikel Arteta as well for Rangers, and Larson got 2 for Celtic.
Yeah.
James, man, well done.
Aye, wait a minute, right? You get 2 games for the last couple of years. I'll get a game for 20 years ago.
Aye, Toal, you're pure shite at this, man.
I'm not having that. That's pish.
Toal, doesn't have to know having it. You're shite at it.
You're not getting the pies either. Fuck off.
James,
well done, mate. Well done,
congratulations.
James.
You win the pies. Well done. And if you want to get pies, and Toal's going to have to do it himself now, piesports.com. Guys, this week we've got Harry's on the podcast. Now, we've all used Harry's. They're a super sharp razor company. They're made in Germany. They've got a big factory out there. But not only are they doing razors now, they've got a whole bunch of products available for you. So you can get close shaves, flake-free hair. You can get healthy skin. Harry is bringing the goods. And here on Football Daft, we've got your chance to try a trial set for only the cost of the postage. And what is in that trial set? You're going to get the expertly engineered weighted handle. You're going to get 1 5-blade cartridge, which is easy for me to say, complete with precision trimmer. You're going to get a handy foam and shave gel for effective lubrication. It foams up really well. You're going to get a travel blade cover as well for that, so you can take it about wherever you go if you're in a hotel or whatever. And they've got the free shower gel thrown in there. Boys, you have tried Harry's. You're all a big fan of it. It gives such a great shave, doesn't it?
It really does.
I'm going to be honest, right? And this is serious with Harry's. You get sent stuff, and you know when you've got, you've got your own wee procedure, how you shave and stuff like that, and what you use, right? When Harry's came, I didn't think much because I thought, well, it's just shaving. But when I started using Harry's, and I used the handle, because the handle it's like this wooden stuff, but it's got such a good feel to it. And the blade is it's right nice and thick. And when you shave, you don't need to keep going and you do it in one swipe. And I'm honestly not exaggerating.
Aye.
And once you start using Harry's, you'll know what they mean when they talk about
And
how
the
good they are.
shaving foam's beautiful, man.
The shaving foam is tremendous. I love putting that shaving foam in my face because it leaves a nice wee kind of perfumey smell after it as well.
Yeah.
And I remember we spoke about Harry's before, and I remember using it because I'm not clean shaven a lot, but when I use Harry's, and when we're doing panto and stuff, we had to play like women. So you had to have like clean shaven faces, and beautiful, man.
Obviously not a woman for Court Bridge then.
But I mean, it's the shaving gel. It smells like the shower gel as well. It's got a really unique, lovely citrusy smell to it, so it's absolutely cracking. So you can have a shave in the shower, get the shower gel on, you're ready for the night. And now that everything's opening up again, night suit are back, which is good news.
Do you know what I was going to say, John? Like, obviously, a few weeks ago I had the beard, right? But I was in the shower a couple of weeks ago, and I tried to straighten my beard up a wee bit. And I made an arse. I'm not going to lie, I made an arse. So I had to shave the whole thing off. And that was the first time I had used the Harry's razor for a long time. And I tell you what, it went through it like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely tremendous. If you're a connoisseur of shaving, give Harry's a go. You won't regret it.
Well, you make a good point, Toal, because I don't even think you need to be a connoisseur of shaving. You just, once you go to Harry's, you realise what you've been missing out on.
Aye. And it makes you a connoisseur of shaving.
That's it. It's like getting into wine and cheeses and stuff like that.
I wouldn't use the razor on a bit of cheese.
No, I wouldn't use the razor on a bit of cheese. But use it on your face. It gives a smooth finish. They've got shower gels, face washes, lots of skincare products now in the range. And you can get a free trial set right now with us at Football Daft. All you're going to have to do is pay for the $3.95. That's for delivery. You'll get your shower shave on the go with this. Harrys.com/daft. Harrys.com/daft. That's all you have to do. Just head there right now to start your shave plan. Get that trial package for just $3.95 for the postage. Harrys.com/daft.
It's now time for Grado's 3 riddles on Football Daft. Welcome to Grado's 3 riddles.
Honestly, Grado, you need to...
We're all just going to call it welcome to Grado's one riddle.
We might as well change it.
I've got one riddle, man, because I just realised, and it doesn't make sense either, it's shite.
Right, okay, well, I've got some as well. So it's the point in the show we get your minds working. Last week...
Sometimes.
Wait a minute. Does this mean Grado gets to play this week?
Aye.
Yes, that means Grado gets to play because he's only got one. So last week, before we start Grado's one riddle, and then I'll give you another two, we threw...
You were like Adele there, Grado, man.
What?
You were like Adele there, man, because you've got no riddles, man. You've let the fucking punters down, man.
My show's not ready.
I'm sorry, guys. I've had a busy day.
I'll FaceTime you.
You know, the COVID and all that. My show's not ready.
I'll phone every one of you and give you a riddle.
It's ironic that I'm in the lead here because I'm absolutely fucking riddled this week.
We asked this question, put this riddle out to the listeners last week. It was Dull Pork legally battles Elliot. What was the answer, boys? Can you remember?
I got it right, but I can't remember what it was.
Dull Pork legally battles Elliot.
I remember.
Who was it again?
Remember, I got it right. I was Dull Pork. What was it again? Graham. What was it?
Graham Souness.
Graham Souness.
So is.
Dullport, Graham, legally battled.
Aye.
Oh, no, I never got it right. Did I get it
Elliot
right?
Ness, and touch.
You did get it. Cool.
Did get it. Well done, Grado. Right, you'll get this, boys. Remember Dean for the last couple of weeks? He's only gone and made it 4 in a row now.
Fuck, nah.
This guy's catching up to me.
This guy is catching up to Steven, so that's why he's worrying. He's up to 4 points now.
What am I on now?
You're on 14, I'm on 17, Chris is on 27. Though my numbers are getting brought down because Grado keeps making me do riddles. Nicola, your wife, is on 2, Ryan 1,
Just
Jack
on
1,
2, hey.
Ryan Dunbar 1, John Mitchell 1, Albert Legend 1, Declan Ramage 1, Pat the Pallet Pricken 1, and Ali McDonald all on 1. Right, Grado.
Okay, Nicola's getting competitive. I say you're still on 2. And she went, well, I've not played. With a kitchen knife in her hand, might I add.
Okay then, Grado, do you want to start off with your first riddle?
Oh, this is crap, man.
Right.
It's really bad, man.
Just say it, man.
When you land in a ditch.
When you land in a ditch. Fall, foul. Land in a ditch.
Dash.
That's not even a riddle, that's just a statement.
I've had a tough week, man.
When you land in a ditch.
I don't think my Wayne likes me, man. Oh, this is maybe actually not too bad then, because you're all stupid.
When you land in a ditch. What happens when you land in a ditch? You get hurt.
No, when you land on a ditch.
In a ditch. In a ditch.
Think about other words for that, you know, that you could use for things that I've said. You know, other words.
Right.
But now I'm paranoid in case John might have done it the weeks that I wasn't here.
No,
when you fall in a ditch.
You land in a ditch. You land. What happens when you land?
You land in a ditch.
Yeah.
I'm sure this thing's a ditch.
Well,
I went and Googled thesaurus and it said it was a ditch as well.
Right, valley, well.
That kind of along that kind of weather, mate. Along that kind of line.
And a ditch. Hole?
No.
River.
Ditch.
I'm tapping out in this one. I've not got the first fucking idea.
Ditch. No.
Huh?
You're Googling ditch, John. I can tell you're Googling ditch.
John, don't be John McInally! Fuck's sake! You're talking. No! It's Floyd now. You're fucked. No, you're out, John.
Right, John,
you're
out.
fucking sitting going like that with your fingers there, man. You don't even something about it. Absolutely fucking brass neck. What you like? What is it? I can go ditch. Hold on, ditch.
Aye, I know that was so blatant.
Just tell us, Grado. Just tell us.
London Dykes.
That's well.
That was all right, actually. That was all right.
That was all right.
Right. This game now.
It's very popular, Grado. Right, okay, I'll give you 2 then. Grado, you're in play now. Right, here we go. Goliath's nemesis is between black and white.
David Gray.
David Gray.
Chris Toal, I've made that.
How long are you taking to make these up?
Right, I'll get right, Grado. Okay, you
Grado,
turned up with one.
It shouldn't take us fucking half an hour to get them.
Right, okay, I'll give you another one. Right, here we go. Mafia boss's village near Stirling. Mafia boss's village near Stirling.
Don Telacutri.
Almost.
Don
Goodman. Don Hutchison.
No.
Nuno Capuccio.
Near Stirling.
What is it again, gangster? What is it?
Don Alloa.
Mafia boss's village near Stirling.
Dollar.
What's a village near Stirling?
I know, that's what I'm trying to think, man.
Denny. Denny.
Don Denny.
Don Bannockburn.
You might struggle. You don't know if you don't know the area. You might struggle.
Hold on.
Well, there's
You better know. Grado's googling fucking places in Stirling.
I'm not, because my keyboard's all there.
Don.
Well, think about famous Dons.
Don Tullibody.
Don Larbert.
No.
Oh no, man! Don't right.
It's now come down to Stirling geography. If you are in the Stirling area listening to this podcast, you'll be shouting out the answer.
So is it
Don Hollywood?
No.
Don Hollywood.
Oh, because there's a Hollywood one about
Stirling. It's a village outside Stirling.
Right, is it a village? Is it a village in Stirling or is it near Stirling?
It is near Stirling.
Right. Okay.
Right. Do you know what? I can make.
Wait a minute, cause it.
I can give you an alternative clue if you want.
Right, go.
Right. Mafia bosses moose.
Don Cowman.
Don Cowie.
That's what I meant.
There you go. So that's it. Well done, Chris. That was 2 for you this week. So you got 29.
That's me with COVID too. Yous are fucked.
Right, I've got a riddle for the punters for next week. Right, this is a quick. If you skip to this part of the podcast, you'll have to be quick on this one. Den's wife's mailman is an integral part of the machine's toilet. It's time for the football daft moment of the week. Last week's results are in, and the nominations were as follows. Chris, it's the worst score we've ever seen on this feature. Maeda's sudden impact got 0.7%.
I'm gonna.
Sorry, mate.
It says a lot about our listeners, man.
It really does.
Next up with 7.3%, it was listener Callum's nomination of James Forrest explaining to Hattati they'd won man of the match. That was on the bench. I
actually watched that after I didn't see that. It was actually quite funny. It was.
Second place, I can't believe this didn't win it. Stephen Purden's nomination of Kevin Clancy's incompetence, which means winning this week with 52% of the vote. It was great.
Oh.
Campbell for FIFA 23. Well played, Grado. Now, Grado, as you nominated and you won the vote last week, you get to nominate.
Is that no another one you came up with for him, John?
Probably, yes.
along with this next one.
Grado's come well prepared to the podcast.
So, Grado, if you're not sure what it is, just look in the group chat. John's just messaged you, mate.
Yeah.
I did actually see this, so you can stop talking shite.
Right, okay. Okay, Grado, what's your nomination for this week?
Right, so here's the story. It happened at the Dutch Cup at the weekend. Ajax were playing Excelsior, and it's actually quite emotional because in the 89th minute, Devin Plank, who is a football player who's recovering from cancer, what happened was he came on as a substitute. But what happened was the Ajax and Excelsior players, they stopped what they were doing and they ran out to the touchline, and they all gave him a guard of honour. And it was a really, really emotional moment because it was good to see him coming on the pitch and just...
You're a big fan of him, mate, aye?
No, but I'm a fan of people beating cancer, Chris.
Good answer, Grado. Brilliant, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
Aye, I saw that moment as well, Grado. Really touching moment. And do you know what else I have to say? I know it's not up for the nomination this week, but great to see Christian.
John, we know you saw it. It was you that sent it to him.
Aye, great to see Christian Eriksen coming back in there and signed for Brentford as well.
Is he signed for Brentford?
I believe it's going through.
That's brilliant. That's good. That's good.
That'll happen. Right, okay. That was Grado's nomination. Chris, what's yours?
Mine is completely went out of my head. Oh, no, right. So, as I mentioned earlier on, we get a couple of tickets for the Alloa game, right? So, Ryan came to pick me up and we drove through. Now, if you've ever been to Recreation Park, as it used to be known, it's not got a plethora of parking spaces next to it.
You park over at McDonald's and you park over the road, no?
Wait, I'll tell you, right? So, we get to there and Ryan's like, is that a stadium there? I says, aye, that's it there. And there was a KFC right next to it.
Aye, at KFC.
Right. So Ryan...
You've seen the KFC in the telly?
Aye.
Is there a Lidl as well?
Aye.
There's
a big massive Morrison's as well. Right, so we went into the KFC car park and there's Polish sitting. Right, so I've got my disabled badge with me, right? For a park pretty much wherever we went. So we went into KFC and I've stopped at the police and I says to the police, is there any disabled parking here? He says, He says, no, it's no for the football, pal. He says, listen, see if I just pick my badge up, can we park here? And I get the policeman like that to me, aye. He says, it's a private car park. See if you get a ticket, just fucking rip it up.
Brilliant.
So my nomination is Police breaks the law.
Love it. Stephen, what's yours?
The Rangers Tunisian Supporters Association.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Nominating the Rangers.
Was it Sunday night? I think was it Sunday night? Sunday night. Every Rangers fan and their granny was tuned into Nigeria versus Tunisia, and they were all supporting Tunisia because it brings our Nigerian prince home.
So, love that. Right, okay.
Aribo's back, that's it.
There we go. And our listener nomination comes from Sideshow Bob this week, who's putting forward, which was the big shock at the weekend, is putting forward Kelty putting out the Scottish Cup holders. Great, amazing result.
We said it, didn't we? We said it. Oh, do you know what should be in as one of the moments as well?
Oh,
the abuse the St Johnstone players took, having to walk through the St Johnstone fans walking off after the Kelty game.
And what about me as well? Robbie Nielsen's interview getting interrupted after the Auchinleck fan. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
So Robbie Nielsen's standing doing his post-match interview, and all you hear from over the back is, I hope he's draw Hibs in the next round and get hammered, Nielsen. and Robbie Nielsen's just buckled during the interview, started pissing himself laughing. That was good.
When you seen the St Johnstone players coming off, O'Halloran was one of the last ones, and they're all walking through. And O'Halloran kind of came towards the end, and he could see obviously it's a bit in his pure going like that and all that. And all you hear this big issue was, and you go back to fucking Rangers and all, Michael.
I love it.
So that is this week's nominations. Grado's got
Cancer 0, Plank 1.
Brilliant, love that. Chris, what's yours?
Police breaks the law.
Stephen?
Rangers Tunisian Supporters Association.
And coming from Sideshow Bob, Kelty Cup shock. What are you having for your football daft moment of the week? Vote now. Get involved on our Twitter at Football Daft Pods. Remember, you can get more content from Football Daft right now on our Patreon, patreon.com/Football Daft. Subscription service that you'll get all the content that doesn't make the cut from the outtakes. You'll get the video version of this podcast, the video version of Celtic and Rangers Daft, the chance to be a pundit on Rangers and Celtic Daft as well. A chance to get a cameo from the boys. We've not had them. A lot of people have not been requesting the cameos. You can get cameo.
Well, thanks for that, John.
They keep forgetting they can get this fantastic thing. So you get Stephen Purden, you can get Grado saying stuff, whatever you want. Chris can call you a shagger. You know, you get all that on our cameo, so you can get that from the boys. Just head over to Patreon now, patreon.com/Football Daft. Get involved, join the squad. As I said, you get our teammates from all our previous guests. You get that now. And right now, we've got Chapman legend, former Falkirk, Aberdeen, Dundee United, and Ayr midfielder. Here is Mark Kerr.
Worst dressed.
I think it's a hard one because there is a few boys that were shockers. A few boys that think they're quite cool and stuff like that as well. So I'll mention Big Lee Miller about that. He wears some wild gear, but he carries it off no bad. I'm struggling really for the boy Chris Doolan used to wear bootcut jeans when they were out about 5 years. Ago, 10 years ago.
That's unacceptable.
So it wasn't acceptable when I was at Partick. I know he took a wee bit of stick for that. But apart from that, mate, it's a few boys.
Bootcut jeans are going to come back, aren't they? They're going to.
Got a year's time, I think.
Aye.
Then Big Dillon will look like the fucking cock of the walk.
To be fair, he sorted it out at the time I met him again at Ayr. He was alright. They weren't too bad, but
tight ones.
Aye, he was trying to pull them off and the young trackies and that by that point.
Moniest.
Probably me.
Yeah.
Aye, I don't know if I can say his money when it's me as a player, but we John Baird. John Baird's the worst. He's a moniest guy. He's wanting to rip people's heads off at half time and all that. He doesn't get a pass in the box. Birdie we don't up to that 100%. Really bad.
Who do you want to back you up in a
We
fight?
spoke about Yogi when I was only a young boy, so you could walk out the park at any time and felt as if you could do anything, give a wee bit of cheating. Yogi the backed us up. That was a league season. The season we won the league, we had a few players like that. The big Yogi was, I said before, a very intimidating guy for an opposition, but a brilliant guy in your dressing room and in your team.
It's funny thinking about that, innit? Football players going, fuck it, man, I'm getting tore in a day, man. Yogi's playing me alongside
Exactly,
me.
man.
Yes.
Yogi's been, I fucking feel invincible, man. Yogi's winning me. You know what I mean?
It's a bit like that. And sometimes the managers as well. You can feel the manager on the side, you know, he'll back you 100%, so you can go, you know, you can just take it that wee bit further. He'll back you up, so I'd say that.
Best looking?
Charlie Mulgrew's the best looking guy. He's the coolest guy. Charlie is. But Big Lee Miller and Phil Kane were close together, Chris, you know, the two of the boys. Top for it at Falkirk in the younger days.
Phil Kane is not even the best looking person in his house. Right, who is a teacher's pet?
Teacher's pet?
Tom Tyrell at Falkirk.
Tom Tyrell.
John will know that, because John, he was the fans' pet and all, wasn't he? John, Paul could do no wrong.
Mark, you could do no wrong as well. You're the fans' favourite and all.
Aye, alright, John.
John, man. John.
He's not going to Shaggy.
That's what I was going to say. every single thing Mark said when he mentions Falkirk, John sitting last.
I've been chatting up for ages, man.
You're not going to take him for dinner first, John? Fuck's sake.
Anyway, I'm fearing in case that camera goes down a wee bit, that's all I'm going to say.
Most skillful?
Wee Sonny Luco was brilliant at Aberdeen.
Oh, yes.
Wide player.
Yeah,
Sonny was class. Sonny was very, very good. But it's, you know, it's like you move from team to team, you just think about the teams you've most recently played with. But years ago, there was some brilliant players that. But Sonny, he was class on the wing, and he's went and had a brilliant career. Obviously went to Rangers, so the boys would have probably liked him there. Just a short spell, but he was.
He was
great
one of the players we wished. Well, I kind of personally wished we'd got him a bit sooner. Do you know what I mean? I had him for longer.
Yeah.
Because he was really good, man.
When I think of him, I just see the 3-2 game at Ibrox to Sonny Luco.
Aye.
Did he score twice or one? I don't know. I think he scored first. Was it first? I don't know.
It was a peach, man. He kind of cut back Cruyff.
But he always was, even at Aberdeen, man. Even at Aberdeen, he saw him and he was like, man, he's too good.
Aye.
Worst trainer?
Jamie Adams, boy, at Ayr. But Jamie would only, honestly, would train one day a week, most of the time. So he was the worst trainer and he only done it once a week. It was unreal. He hadn't really. Ian McCall was brilliant at that. He would always have boys that didn't sometimes had a job, even though we were full time, and he'd get the best out of them. Because Jamie was magic on a Saturday. But training wise, he was horrific.
Aye.
You always hear that with people that are bad trainers end up being class acts on the pitch, but didn't you?
Aye, there's been, through the years, at most teams there's always one or two. So there is, you've always got one or two there that you're, me being Money, you're always trying to shoot at them and all that kind of stuff. But you always get your one or two that are just do it at their pace, you know what I mean?
Aye.
Who never gets the round in?
Obviously, we've been out, had a few swallows together before, but who never gets the round in, Mark?
And your dad's pub Toal and all that, aye.
I can't eat something, I mean.
Aye, know what I mean, Marky boy, me and you have been out a few nights now, mate, aye.
Alright, go and take a fuck to yourself, boy.
You know a good time.
Tightest boy.
Brilliant if you say Toal here, mate.
I always stand my round.
But the English boys are tight, so they're. Will Volks loved a night out, but I don't think he bought me a drink. What a boy he was too, amazing on a night out, so he got away with it. But English boys, I find always dip the
kitty.
The round, aye.
Always say they'll take the money for the kitty and all that.
Aye, hide it. They just take it. I'll take the kitty money and that shoe. Don't see it again.
They've got a limo up the road.
Biggest bam up merchant?
Big Charlie was classic, winding people up. To be fair, Charlie's one of my closest kind of mates in football. So he was brilliant.
Was you with him on Sunday?
By the way, I didn't see that until yesterday.
Shocking, man. Shocking. As in, shocking that's even in the paper, but that's by the by. But anyway.
Aye,
isn't it? But I only see. I don't buy the paper because of that. I've bought it for years, but my mate sent me a picture of the big man with the top off. So
you sure you never?
It's one of the ones like you're saying earlier, but man, it's one of the ones you see him with the top off. Probably had a few bevies. He still looks tidy as fuck, but didn't he?
I was alright anyway else. He's had a few tins of a beer poured over it, and all he's still looking good.
I don't know what he's celebrating for if it was fucking last Sunday. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just celebrating being up the road, Chrissy, for a swallow for the boys of Kirky.
Mate. We'll need to chin you for his phone number so we can get him on the show, mate.
Aye, we do it too. Good laugh.
Top shagger.
The guy came into my head that Canny mentioned. He's into been into much more for that. I'm trying to think who's not got a blood here.
I see people say all the time.
Aye. I'm not even saying it, man. I can't.
Aye, sorry, mate. Don't worry.
You're allowed to pass, Mark. You're allowed to pass.
I need to pass, man. I think I'm struggling for any of these young boys. Just stick in there.
And by the way, that's the worst pass you've made since the cup final, mate.
You just put that question in for that, man.
Best you've played with?
Charlie Muller was a brilliant player. I played with. Charlie was different class. Charlie was an amazing guy, and all. I remember it was only at United, and we went away obviously first pre-season. I was sharing with him and Dale McInnes, and Charlie was brought me right for the start. But just as a player, he was on a different level for us at Dundee United. It was just Charlie had his kind of reputation went before him. I think we moving back up to bigger teams because he'd obviously played with Rangers, done really well, went to Watford was really good. But what a guy! I get made staying to the gym as a young boy, and Charlie gave me I was only there, so I just started to get paid decent money. Gave me the mare to drive down the road, says don't, because I was car sharing, and the man's like, you need to just get the bus home. So Charlie gave me his keys to the mare and says, take that, Mark. So type of guy he was different class, but loved playing with him.
He was at my mum's funeral.
By the way, you were passing that off as your own. Run about Coat Bridge, your Chancellor, like my new motor lads. So hello there.
That was my first good wage, Chris, you know what I mean? And I'm here before. I'm like, oh, here we go, but I'm probably right, mate. You probably did see me singing about the McDonald's for a night, cut of nights.
Revving it up in the JJB car park.
So that's it for this week's Football Daft. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks very much for Dave from Livingston for coming on and talking about the Hardy Boys chat.
That was lovely.
Next week we're going to be talking, if you're a big fan of FIFA and play FIFA, we're going to be getting an esports coach on from Holland. This guy teaches people how to play FIFA properly, so that should be an interesting chat with him.
They're good for Toal.
Aye, exactly. He'll need it. If you want to get involved in our Patreon, you'll get lots of added bonus content. You get outtakes from this show, and trust me, the last 20 minutes of the show have been fucking all that on the outtakes, patreon.com/football daft. Looking ahead to the weekend games, boys, Ross County Rangers, that's a 12:30 kickoff. Quite confident.
Tricky game. We should win. We should have Aribo, Kent, Roof, Ryan Jack, Arfield all back. So it's a tough game, but one we need to win to put a bit of pressure on Celtic kicking off later on.
Yep, Aberdeen St Johnstone. That's tough for St Johnstone to go away to Pittodrie. You can't see a result happening there.
St Johnstone are doomed.
Do you think so? How long do you think Callum Davidson can hang on in there?
I think they'll game to the end of the season, but I think they're doomed.
Right. Celtic, Dundee United, Chris.
Home win.
Yeah. Dundee, St Mirren. Dundee really need a win there, probably, don't they? But St Mirren, they won the week during against Aberdeen, so that should be interesting. Hearts, Motherwell.
It's a tough game. Is it at Tynecastle? Aye.
At Tynecastle, yeah.
I think Hearts will sneak it, but it'll be a tight game.
And what about Hibs, Livy?
Draw.
Hibs need a win, don't they?
They do.
He's not really set the heather alight, has he?
Started off well with a couple of wins, and then it's kind of fallen away.
It's kind of fair. I wouldn't be surprised if Livy go there and win, by the way.
Right, okay. Could be a shock on the cards there.
Would it be a shock though? When you look at the form, would it be a shock?
No, maybe not. We obviously, you guys' nerves are going to be shot because after this week of fixtures, men look ahead to next Wednesday match in the Old Firm. Obviously, we're going to have next week Rangers and Celtic Daft ahead of the Old Firm. We're going to come together. We'll talk more about it then, so you'll be able to hear that on the channel as Rangers and Celtic Daft come together. Just initial thoughts on it at the moment, guys. What are you thinking?
Fireworks.
It could be like that, by the way.
I'll tell you this now, Celtic need to get the job done in the first half or we're fucked.
Right, wow, that's a bold prediction from Chris there. Can you see any players coming in? Obviously, we've been on air and we've had a signing for Rangers already, haven't we?
Rangers have signed the boy from Manchester United. I can't mind his name. Grado, you're a big fan of him.
Amad Diallo signed a £35 million player.
So, yes, and Bacuna is away to Birmingham as well.
That has happened while the podcast has been recording. That shows you.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Suter at Ibrox in time for the Old Firm game.
That'll be interesting. Well, anyway, like I say, listen to Rangers and Celtic Daft next week. I'll be on the channel. Boys, enjoy your weekend of football.
You too, John. Who's Falkirk playing? Do you just not care anymore?
We've got Montrose this weekend, so that's a big game for us.
And away to Montrose, actually, isn't he?
That's a tough one, man.
Away to Montrose.
That's a home win.
Is that not where it all went? That's where it all went to fuck last season, wasn't it?
Pretty much. Away to Montrose, so it'll be a tough game, but we really...
Are you getting together with the boys? Are you watching it?
I'll probably watch it this weekend. I will watch it this weekend.
What do you mean, probably? You can't just be a fair weather fan, John.
I was meant to be going up to the game, but I've not been able to get up. So, yeah, fingers crossed the Bears get a win up in Montrose. Thank you very much for listening to Football Daft. We will see you on the next one.
Audio Frontier.